Today on 427 Motorsports, it's story time, and we're going to talk to you guys about me and Connor's, well, Connor and me's,
whatever works.
Yeah, that one. Connor and I's first cars. So the first car is a very special experience in young boys really, in a young boy's life. A young boy reaches a certain age. But no, the first car for any person really is a rite of passage into the world of freedom. And everybody remembers their first car, whether it was a good one, a bad one, whether they still have it, or whether they wish they did. I don't know if you will about yours.
Best car I ever owned.
Most reliable car I've ever owned. Mine was one of the least reliable cars I've ever owned. But we'll get into that. His was once driven by Leonardo DiCaprio. Mine was once sat in by a girl with a pair of earrings that made a load of noise. That might be a bit of a clue. People are going to know at least one of those. People of a certain age are going to know at least one of those references, and other people are going to be like, fuck, I'm not drunk enough to get that far into YouTube.
Fair.
But yes, so let's get started on our first cars. Connor, would you like to go first? As I said so.
My first car was...
Why are you thinking about this?
My first car was a 2001 Suzuki Wagon-R. New.
What? I'm not actually that surprised. I just wanted to be able to spit that out for dramatic effect. So tell us more about this beautiful Wagon-R. How did you come to own this majestic machine?
It was owned by my grandmother. As most, well, not most, but quite a few first cars generally are hand-me-downs, aren't they?
Are they? Yeah.
You don't think so?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do.
There's a dog down around the tripod, I'm sorry, and we're just kind of worried that
Hello?
he's going to do something. Lift him up.
Hello?
Get him into the camera. Hello.
I don't know what your name is.
We have no idea whose dog this is. That kind of just... It's very chill.
He's a nice guy.
Look at him.
You a nice guy?
He's a pretty cool guy who kills lots of aliens and doesn't afraid of anything. I should call him Master Chief.
Ooh,
Right, now bugger off.
Go.
Oh no, he's gonna like you now.
He likes me.
Anyway, back on topic. Your granny gave you...
She did, Granny
Suzuki
Sue.
Wagon-R.
Everybody's Granny Sue gave me a Suzuki Wagon-R, which I refused to drive at first. I was like...
Did you?
I was like, I don't want that. Ungrateful.
I don't want these.
Ungrateful as anything, and I'm pretty ashamed to have been that ungrateful.
That's really not cool.
It's not cool at all, is
bad
it? When
times.
somebody's giving you a free car, you don't...
Thanks, David. We're getting a free Mercedes thing.
You don't be ungrateful about it. And I was getting my insurance paid for as well.
Yeah, that's kind of
That's a big deal.
the clincher.
When you're 17?
Insurance when you're a young'un, whether you're a girl, boy racer, girl racer, whether it's a Wagon-R, whether it's a Subaru, it's not cheap. I didn't need to go into that many different options there.
That's a lot of options.
That was a lot of options. Long story short, no matter who you are, insurance is shite.
It's dear. So I was lucky enough to get all that paid for. The only thing I had to do was add fuel, really.
Yeah, because we never actually fixed it.
I'm not talking about tax because I just didn't pay the tax.
What's the statute of limitations? It was a southern car anyway.
It was southern.
It doesn't count.
That's what I mean.
That was the different country, depending on who you ask.
Yeah. Yeah. Is the rat here?
What, you mean the Egyptian god Ra?
Yes.
Right.
You probably have photos of it somewhere that you can put.
Oh, there'll be photos
Yeah.
throughout all of this because we took photos. We did the smart thing a lot of people don't do these days. Well, no, they do these days, but didn't do
back
in the old
then.
days.
No.
Because there's a lot more effort. But we take photos of absolutely everything. Whether you're taking something apart and you want to remember how to put it back together again, or whether it's a car that you're probably never going to see again. It's nice just to have a photo of it, and you never know. For example, the car that started it all with you was that W123 Coupe in England.
That's right. I wish I had better photos of it.
Yeah, all we have is a pixelated mess of it, but that was the car that started it all for you, like, so...
That's the car that got me into cars. Because I was into Land Rovers, but that's kind of just...
I don't know why I'm pulling off face. I like Land Rovers.
Yeah,
I just
everyone
never owned
likes
one.
them.
Yeah,
I don't want one.
I'd never
anymore.
own one. I have a G-Wagon, and I know we're a Mercedes channel, but
would have a G-Wagon.
I would have a G-Wagon over a Defender.
Anybody sensible would.
I'd have a Hilux Surf over both, but whatever. So when your G-Wagon's broken down, I can drive past and like, oh well, you need a lift?
Don't envisage that ever happening.
No, because no, we'll never own either.
that's probably more likely.
That's why. So tell us your favourite story in this Wagon R. Again, we don't script these videos, so the fact that he's pausing is because he is genuinely having to think.
Pause for thought. I drove that when I was maybe 18 years old. I drove that car
Studying.
when I was studying in school, and I slept in my car. I drove that over to Scotland. I drove it all the way down through England.
In the Wagon R?
In the Wagon R one summer. Me still on R plates, but I knew I didn't need them in England, so I could take them off and drive at 60.
That was the loophole for anybody who lived around the border in this country, really.
Just go over the border and...
Go for a spin, will we? I just got my licence. Oh, should we go to Clontarf or something, will we? Take the airplanes off and just fly.
So yeah, I did that trip one summer, 2013 I think it was.
I think I've seen pictures of that. Was that when you went camping?
Yeah,
And then-
camped in the... well,
And then you started a GoFundMe to try and get a better car?
yeah. Not proud of that one either.
That was a low.
That is
This
a
was
low.
a Blur song.
That
It would
was
be,
Blur.
This is a low.
It would be Boys and Girls.
This was a Blur song. It would be song 2.
So true. Yeah,
Favourite thing about the Wagon R?
how reliable it was. Actually, the colour.
I was gonna say at the time how reliable it was. Wouldn't
It
it? I think
didn't
you-
even- didn't
you
mean
hadn't
anything at all.
experienced breakdowns.
I did about 40,000 miles in that car, and I don't think I ever serviced it.
Seriously?
Yeah. It was like your Dave's Rover 25.
It might be over 25. There's bound to be a photo of the Rover 25 somewhere. It's like 40,000. Well, it was kilometres because it was a Southern car, wasn't it?
I can't, yeah. It was a Southern car, but do you know they never sold the Wagon R in the South? You can do another spit take if you want, because that's mad.
I've got nothing. I've got nothing left. You've got nothing left.
Never sold the Wagon R in the South. It probably was sold as not Opel Agila,
Aye, that
but never
granny
as-
box. Yeah,
So
I
it
don't
was
think
a-
with a granny's box.
So it was a UK import.
UK import, lad.
Yes, sir.
Just in out of
Yes, sir.
Newton Ards.
Oh, yes, sir. Fresh off the boat, lad.
Banana boat on the fucking Larne, maybe.
So it probably wasn't miles.
Fair
Long
enough.
story short.
Long story short.
Short story long, actually.
Yeah, sure.
Because I've been talking a lot about this, but there's not much to say. It was a good car. I got bullied mercilessly for it in school, as you can imagine, looking at it.
I can't imagine.
Can you not imagine that?
Because when you find out what my first car was, you realise I didn't get bullied for my first car.
So let's move on to your first car then.
Oh, you're cutting that short. Was that a sore subject then? Didn't even get to tell my fun story about the Wagon R.
Oh, what's your fun story about the Wagon?
Story I have. You know what one I'm going to tell straight away.
I remember.
I will never forget, and I'm sure you won't either. I'm hoping it has taught you to be more observant when you drive. Don't think it has though. There was a sign there
Oh,
saying
this is
give
a
way.
different one. Yeah,
Oh, what
I
are you
think it was
thinking?
at that time that I let you drive it, and we were doing about 70 down a back road, and a tractor came.
Shut up. What age was I? I couldn't have been arrested for it, I was too young,
That's right.
so it's fine.
Um,
Yes, my favourite story of the Suzuki Wagon R,
what do you call that corner?
Blind Man's Corner.
Blind Man's Corner. There you go.
Anybody local watching this will be like, oh, I know the corner. What did you do there, you idiots?
I didn't see the giveaway
Idiot,
sign.
singular. Basically, we were coming down a back road, and there is a giveaway sign at it.
Couldn't see it.
On
Wasn't there.
There's a big hairpin bend on a road that is like in the middle of the corner. There's a turnoff, and we were coming to the corner from the turnoff, and there's a giveaway sign, and somebody didn't pay attention to it, and he had been driving like 2 weeks, if even like.
Probably was
you were
very
on
early
our
on.
plates, it was
Yeah.
very early on, and he didn't stop. He just drove straight through the junction.
That's a busy
Didn't
road.
look. Oh, busy road. And I didn't even acknowledge what he was doing at first. I was like, Jesus, he's coming up to this junction very, very quick. Maybe this thing's good brakes, I don't know. He just didn't stop, full stop.
Flew straight
He
through.
just flew straight on through, and thank God
By
nothing
the
was coming.
grace of God, we weren't sideswiped.
Yeah, we were
just
on
like
a
fucking-
mission from God that day. Whatever we were doing on that spin, God was watching us because we should have been flattened.
Oh yeah.
And that is why insurance is so expensive for our pit drivers, because not everybody is as fortunate as us.
Not everybody has God on their side.
Yes. No, they
like
don't.
we do.
God is always on our side. God and I was going to say in the three-pointed star, but the three-pointed
It's gone. It's left us.
We've only got God left. Stop getting God wrong.
Okay, so that's your favorite memory of my car, my first car, the Wagon-R.
Oh, we didn't even get into the Leonardo DiCaprio.
New.
The new. Basically, I know we said that Leonardo DiCaprio drove a Wagon-R. We didn't specify that it was Connor's Wagon-R. He drove a Wagon-R in a series of adverts from the 90s.
In Japan.
In Japan. Roll the clip.
世の中ワゴン R
世の中どんどんワゴンがある
I love number one
新ワゴンがある誕生
おかげさまで鈴木は27年連続 K ナンバーワン
That was fun, man. It was fun. I love it.
ワゴン R
Go Wagon R.
鈴木にお任せキャンペーン実施中
So yeah, that's the Suzuki Wagon-R's claim to fame, is that short little clip of Leonardo DiCaprio driving it. But that's more than we can say for any other car we have.
I'm not sure any celebrity is advertised in any other cars we own.
Nope.
Probably the Subaru. You probably find something on the Subaru somewhere from the 90s, because that's the Japanese thing, is just to pay an actor big money to
Did
advertise.
Bruce Willis do the Subaru?
Oh, maybe.
I think Bruce Willis did the Subaru. I think somebody famous did, and we will now play that clip here.
And in Cantonese, lamb chop. Here we go.
もっとスポーティーに自由にニューインプレッサースポーツワゴンデビュー
Subaru. Brand new. I don't believe this.
「ワゴンにスポーツを乗せよう」「パワーアップデビュー A プラッサースポーツワゴン
Brand new.
週末はスバル
And if we don't, it's just going to say footage not found. So yeah, somebody famous, I don't know who it was, but you just seen them there now, and if you didn't see them, then we're full of shit.
You were just thinking of the music video for Stilo.
Hello? No. No, there's definitely a celebrity, I think, driving an Impreza wagon. It is a wagon, I'm near certain. And they call
It's
it
a legacy.
Impreza. What?
Legacy.
It's not a Legacy, it's definitely an Impreza. I wouldn't be sitting watching Subaru Legacy adverts. Actually, I might. That is something we would do drunk.
Aye, so on that note, what was your first car?
My first car, telling you what it is now, people might think, Jesus, he must have been loaded when he was young, because the prices and values of them have gone up so much. But at the time, it was a £500 car, so it doesn't really count. But at the time, and it wasn't even that long ago, I'm saying it's like it was back in the 80s or back in the 90s when they were worth nothing, but this was just at the start of them going up in value. But anyway, my first car was a Tornado Red, 3-door, 1989 Volkswagen Golf Mark II GTI. And that got me some cool points from the 40-year-old men.
Yeah.
Didn't pull any bitches with it, like, but
No.
I could have pulled every 40-year-old man in the town. So yes, mine was the the well-to-do boy racer's dream, because the boy racer's dream would have been a Nova or something like. The well-to-do boy racer's dream was my first car, and I bought it in Buncrana from a dodgy fella, and it was so dodgy that when we got it home we found it had the wrong number plates on it.
Always a good start.
Always a good start. I didn't know this until Ryan Doyle messaged me and said, here, check the plates on that car, because I just did a run on it and that's coming up as a blue Mitsubishi. And we drove it the whole way home from Derry on these plates. So statute of limitations is hopefully out on that one. But that's definitely the most interesting story of purchasing a car I've had. It was a shit heap. It was in a field. The engine was cooked. Like it had boiled God knows how many times, because the head gasket was just deleted.
Non-existent.
Yeah. Like I have a Subaru and the Golf is the one with the head gasket gone. Plot twist. Me and my dad restored it. I learned most of what I know now about working on cars from that car, because anything that could break broke on that. So I still have it to this day. That'll come in another video. That's still hidden. the big reveal coming for that one, and we'll get to that. But yes, it was ridiculously hard to insure, as you would expect. It was expensive to insure, so I waited a while. I drove it as a learner driver, and then I drove.
That's right, yeah, I remember that.
I was on L plates in the Golf GTI. I used to do drag racing in it, which was a lot of fun.
Probably extra cooked the head gasket.
You see, there was a thing with that car, right? If you drove it fast, it didn't overheat.
Yeah, that's
But I mean,
a blown head gasket.
asshole fast. As in, drove from Katy to Derry in an hour. And that's a 2-hour trip. And I left it like, I did my own like top secret Supra top speed run from Katy to fucking Derry, and made it in stupid time, because if I slowed down it would have overheated and not got there.
Yep.
That was the type of car. So restored it, and then did a lot of drag racing in it. Had so much fun in that car.
Yeah.
So many memories of being at the side of the road with the bonnet up. I wish that was an exaggeration, but almost all of the memories I have with that car
Just side of the road.
resulted in a breakdown at some point in that trip.
Towed home.
Yeah, I may have got home, or I may have fixed it there and drove it home, but all of the memories involve, oh, remember this broke on that trip? Which kind of, it's definitely a character builder for me as a person. Is it
Yeah.
gonna rain? No, it's not.
Nah.
I think we're fine. Yeah, it definitely built a lot of character. More than any first car ever should, I think.
Yeah, probably. You want it to
Yeah.
be a little bit easier than that.
Yeah, you want to enjoy some of it. Now, like, case in point, now, you know, whenever something bad happens to you and you can't forget it, and ever since then, your head kind of is programmed to look out for something.
Yeah.
Every time I get into a car now, I'm staring at the temperature gauge 90% of the time I'm driving it. And I had a near brand new Polo.
You were still doing
I'm
it.
still looking at the temperature gauge.
Yeah.
Ma's Beetle is brand spanking new. I drove it the day she bought it. I was looking at the temperature gauge.
Just in case they
Just in case.
forgot to put the head gasket in.
Yeah, like, genuinely, that is how scared I am now of constantly overheating. Like,
Yeah.
just ridiculous.
So what's your favourite memory of your first car?
Favorite memory of my first car? My favorite memory of that first car. There was an event in, I don't know what county it is, but wherever Mondello Park is, and it was an event called Auto Heroes, and it was a track day, and there was a car show as well as the track day. You kind of just showed up and you paid a couple of quid and went around the track if you wanted. If you didn't have a really long drive home to do afterwards, and I did, and I still did it anyway.
Yeah.
But that whole day, I think, it just summed up that car perfectly for me. We were up at, I think, 5 o'clock in the morning. We were up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'll never forget going down some Irish countryside road at sunrise with the sun coming up and the most glorious orange sky I've ever seen, with Sweet Home Alabama playing. There weren't as many memes back then. Sweet Home Alabama playing, Leonard Skinner playing on the radio, looking at Ryan Doyle's Peugeot 306 in front of me, and in front of him, Eurobarth, which at the time we all still liked. So it was, yeah. So that gives you a time frame of when it was. It was
Still new.
soon after you bought it.
2015 or so, yeah.
But I'll never forget, that whole day is the best memory for me. That amazing sunset, something breaking on the car, fixing the thing that broke on the car, arriving, because remember the battery terminals kept messing about?
Yeah.
So whenever I let it just go to idle, it would cut out. So we were sitting in some tiny wee Irish town at traffic lights at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. I was sitting revving this car. It had a full stainless race exhaust on it, and I was sitting going vroom, vroom.
Just becoming hated.
I felt so sorry for the people in that neighbourhood, because if I let it go, it would cut out. And then we stopped for petrol, and I thought, you know, it hasn't cut out. No, it'll probably be all right. And then it did cut out, and we had to try and fix it there and then. And we did fix it, and we got to the show, and the 3 cars were parked up, and I decided stupidly, you know what? I'll take it on the track and do the track day. I say stupidly. It was amazing. It was one of the best experiences I've ever had. If I could do track days and track racing all the time, I would if the money was there. Maybe when this channel gets bigger and if you click the subscribe button and we get more figures, then we can do track day stuff, and that would be really, really cool.
Yep.
Buying £500 shit heaps and taking them to track days, that would be really fun. Anyway, yeah, if that was the most amazing experience because I've always wanted to be a racing driver since I was a kid, and maybe someday that'll happen, or maybe not. Who knows? Still young, that could still happen. But yeah, I went to the track day and I only broke one thing in the car, which was good. The oil buzzer went off, which is the scariest thing.
That's pretty scary.
That's when you think, oh shit, I cooked this thing. Turns out on 8-valve GTIs, if you take a corner hard, it can surge the oil pressure buzzer. And it'll just damage the buzzer, but it won't actually damage the engine, and that's all it was. But it was a very scary drive home with the constant buzz of your oil pressure is broken. That wasn't nice. But that drive home, and then the exhaust bracket broke. So we stopped on some small country road to try and fix it. And some guy came out of his house and shouted at us thinking we were up to no good outside his house. And then we told him, sorry, my car just broke in, I'm trying to fix it. And his tone completely changed. He was like, oh, come on in, sir, we'll put it over the pit in the garage. And I was like, are you serious? I was like, yeah, come on ahead. But thinking, if you had a pit in the garage, you'd have some kind of like exhaust match or something. Nope, he went to a tree in his yard and got out a lump of wood and stuck it to the exhaust and wedged it in place. So I was driving home with the vibrations of the fucking tree on the wood. Oh,
Got you home.
It got me home, and it's an experience I'll never ever forget. But it was a great day with the lads in my first car. Did the thing I've always wanted to do and managed to actually get home. I think that's a memory I'll always have of that car. I'm going to have a lot more to make with that car, but that's probably one of my happiest memories in any car. Never mind just the GTI, but yeah.
Nice.
That was a tangent. But it was a good story.
Yeah, it's a nice story.
And we've pics from that day, so.
Yeah, so we can actually illustrate that
Yeah,
quite
it's
nicely.
not just me talking, but yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your favourite memory of my first car?
Of your first car?
Yeah. I did the Wagon R, so granted, mine was a near-death experience in your Wagon R, so that'd be a bit of an odd one. But what is your favourite experience in my GTI Golf?
Probably just the days out, heading to like Bishop's Court and stuff for
That's
the drag
such
day.
a cop-out.
It's not really though, is it? Like, it's just...
You've no particular one memory.
I could pick any of the countless times it broke down.
It did actually gain, I forgot to say, it gained the nickname the Heartbreaker, which a lot of people in the Volkswagen community came to know it as, because I used to do the drag days and basically everybody in the Volkswagen community went to those, so it was great. And I got it all stickered up like a drag car, and it was called the Heartbreaker because it kept breaking down on me so many times. So that's...
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we did a lot of days out in that car and a lot of trips to places and just sitting in the back with no soundproofing, like getting tinnitus.
Yeah. No soundproofing with a full stainless exhaust, like.
Yeah.
It sounded so good though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you didn't really care about car noises then, so.
No.
So that's been a quick little get to know us type of video. We're going to do quite a few of these, I think, over the next while, just to let you know a bit more about ourselves and get to know us as opposed to just knowing the cars.
Yeah.
Because all you really see of us is us shouting at each other when we're trying to work on something and giving each other abuse, but we're good mates really, like, so. When we actually start doing road trips for the channel, which we are going to do, it just involves a lot of fucking organising to try and do a road trip video.
Yeah.
But when we do those, you'll get to know a bit more about us, I suppose, as well. Like, that's like with Top Gear, you got to know them when they were doing challenges. You didn't get to know them when they were doing a test drive, like,
Sure.
you know. But anyway, thank you very much for watching this episode. We don't know what's going to happen in the next one, but we hope you'll be there to watch it with us. So if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to our channel, leave us a comment if you liked it, and if you didn't like it, it'll help the algorithm anyway, so, you know, give us hate if you want. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at tamo.pattison.
At Hughes Corporation.
What about it?
Follow that.
There you go. Follow our camera lady, Chrissy Ewens, at Chrissy Ewens. It's a tripod at the minute. Her hands aren't that steady. Fair play to her. Be sure to follow her on Instagram, and we'll see you in the next one. Good luck.
Good luck.